You know that feeling? That perfect, breathless moment when you look at someone and just know? That was us. Me and Amelia. We'd found each other in the chaotic hum of New York City, two souls unexpectedly quieted by the other's presence. Our apartment, a cozy space overlooking the urban sprawl, was our sanctuary, and our favorite ritual? Saturday mornings, slow and easy, making pancakes, the city's distant roar a muted lullaby. This particular Saturday, the sunlight poured through the window, painting stripes across our kitchen floor. Amelia, her laughter bright and carefree, was flipping a pancake a little too high. "Show off," I teased, stealing a piece of bacon. She swatted playfully at my hand, her skin warm against mine. But as she turned back to the stove, a subtle shift caught my eye. Her movements, usually so fluid, seemed to hold a fraction of a second's hesitation, like a tiny pause in a familiar melody. I dismissed it, probably just the early hour. Later, as we settled onto the sofa, sharing coffee and a worn copy of a graphic novel, I wrapped my arm around her. Her head rested against my chest, her breathing soft and even. Everything felt right, perfectly in place. Then, an odd sensation, a prickling, almost like tiny vibrations, against my arm where it rested beneath her back. It was faint, barely there, but persistent. I shifted, trying to get comfortable. "You okay?" she murmured, without looking up from the page. Her voice was slightly deeper than usual, a richer timbre. I attributed it to morning grogginess. "Yeah, just a weird tickle," I replied. I felt her hand, resting on my stomach, subtly clench. A shiver ran through me, not from cold. Her skin, which had been warm from sleep, now felt cooler. Not cold, but unnaturally neutral, like it wasn't radiating any heat at all. "Must be the old springs in the sofa," she whispered, her fingers tracing a pattern on my shirt. The movement was slow, deliberate, almost too careful. As the day wore on, small things began to accumulate, tiny cracks in the perfect picture. Amelia's gaze would occasionally drift, becoming distant, unseeing, even when I was talking to her. Her smile, while still beautiful, seemed to hold a newfound stillness around the edges, like it was carefully placed. And that scent, a faint, almost metallic aroma, like rain on old stone, started to cling to her. I tried to ignore it, telling myself it was just the city air or perhaps the new plants she'd brought home. That evening, we decided on takeout and a movie. As I reached for the remote, Amelia gently took my hand. Her touch was firm, almost gripping. Her eyes, those beautiful brown eyes I adored, seemed darker now, holding an odd, assessing intensity. "Leo," she said, her voice a low murmur that seemed to hum from within her. "Do you ever feel connected to everything?" I laughed, a little uncomfortably. "Deep thoughts for a Friday night, babe. What do you mean?" She didn't laugh back. Her fingers, which were now interlaced with mine, felt strangely ridged, not rough, but as if something was forming beneath her skin. and that metallic scent was stronger now, mixed with something earthy, like fresh soil. Her smile widened, but it didn't reach her eyes. Those eyes, I realized with a jolt, weren't just dark. There was a faint, almost imperceptible gleam deep within them, like polished obsidian reflecting distant light. "Connected," she repeated, her grip tightening until it was almost painful. Like the roots of a tree, reaching, burrowing, feeling the pulse of the earth, the stillness beneath the skin. A cold dread seeped into my bones. Her words weren't just poetic. They felt literal. I tried to pull my hand away, but her grip was unyielding. Her face, inches from mine, was calm, almost serene. But those gleaming eyes held something ancient, something unhuman. "Amelia," I whispered, my voice thin. "What are you talking about?" Her smile broadened, stretching a fraction too wide, too slow. "I'm talking about growth, Leo," she purred, and the sound was accompanied by a faint, grinding noise, a soft rasp from within her. "About becoming, about transcending this." With her free hand, she gestured vaguely around the apartment, at our life. As she spoke, I felt it, a tremor in her hand that wasn't shaking, but something internal, organic, a subtle, internal shift. And then, faintly, through the skin of her palm, I felt a distinct, undeniable pressure. A small, hard point, like a tiny pebble, pushing against my flesh. It felt like a new knuckle, or something growing from within. My breath hitched. I scrambled back, pulling with all my might, finally breaking free from her grip. I stumbled away, knocking over a lamp. Amelia remained on the sofa, unmoving, her serene smile unwavering, her gleaming eyes fixed on me. The metallic, earthy scent filled the room, now undeniably stronger, sharper. "Where are you going, my love?" she asked, her voice calm, but the undercurrent of that deeper timbre, that strange internal grinding, sent a spike of terror through me. "We're just beginning to really get acquainted." I didn't answer. I just ran. I ran out of our sanctuary into the blare and chaos of the city, leaving behind the woman I loved and the unsettling, growing stillness that now resided beneath her skin. I haven't been back, I can't, because in those final moments I saw something in her eyes that told me Amelia wasn't just changing, she was blooming into something ancient, something terrifying, and I knew, with a horrifying certainty, that if I stayed, I would bloom too. Let me tell you something that might ruin late-night subway dates forever. You know that feeling when something seems fine on the surface, normal even, but deep down your gut is screaming that something's wrong. That's what happened to me and Evan. We'd been dating about 6 months. Things were still new, exciting. We were in New York for the weekend. My idea. I'd always dreamed of riding the subway late at night, like they do in the movies. Quiet, dim lighting, the whole train to ourselves. A little urban adventure. So, after dinner and drinks, we hopped on the A train around midnight, heading uptown. It was nearly empty, just a few tired commuters and a guy playing music too loud on his phone. We sat in the far back, just talking, joking, stealing kisses like teenagers. Somewhere after 145th Street, the train emptied out completely. No one left but us. Perfect, right? We didn't notice how long we'd been riding. Lost track of time. Lost in each other. When we finally pulled apart and looked up, the train had stopped. No sound. No station name on the wall. Just flickering fluorescent lights and gray tile outside. We looked at each other. I laughed nervously. Did we miss our stop? Evan pulled out his phone. No service. I checked mine. Dead. The doors didn't open. We waited. 2 minutes passed. Then 3. He stood up, walked to the window, and squinted. I think we're between stations. But the weird thing, there was a sign outside. Not a name, just 3 words. Do not exit. Painted in red, faded, like it had been scratched into the tile. We both looked at each other like, what the hell? Then the lights inside the train went off. Not all at once, one by one. Starting from the front car. Each click of a light shutting down echoed like a footstep, getting closer. We stood there, frozen, just listening. Click, click, click. The last light above us flickered, then went dark. Total silence. Evan whispered, "This isn't right." Then we heard it. Not footsteps. Breathing. Slow. Wet. From the other end of the car. I don't know how long we stood there before Evan grabbed my hand and yanked the emergency door release. We stumbled out into the tunnel. Complete darkness, except for that red painted message glowing faintly behind us. Do not exit. We ran, following the tunnel in the direction we thought was south. The air felt thick, like breathing through wet fabric. Every few steps, we'd hear that breathing again. Not chasing, just nearby. Eventually, we saw light. An old service exit stairwell. We burst through the door, climbed for what felt like forever, and came out in the middle of Red Hollow Station. Here's the thing though. Red Hollow's been abandoned since 1977. There's no official record of it ever reopening. No trains stop there. Not even the A-line. And when we finally found a cop outside and told him what happened, he just stared at us and said, "People don't come out of Red Hollow." Then he walked away.